Hello, namaste everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is for the people who have Venus in the nakshatra of Mula and the zodiac sign of Sagittarius. So I feel this is the most interesting nakshatra for Venus to be in because there's a lot of transformation. There are a lot of things that we can discuss about. So let's do that. Before that, you can always subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that you get regular updates. Also, if you would like to have your personal readings from me, you can check out the link in the description box, www.anmollastrology.com. Under the reading and unique reading section, you can book a personal reading for yourself. Also, if you want to have your online courses, you can sign it up at the same link under courses option. Okay, so let's get started. So when a person has Venus in the sign of Sagittarius and in the nakshatra of Moola, this is all the information you need to know. First, let's talk about Venus being in the sign of Sagittarius or the ninth house. So as to what result you can expect with that. Then we will funnel down and go into the nakshatra of Mula and we'll discuss everything about it. Okay? So Sagittarius or the ninth house. What happens when Venus is in that house? First of all, what you would experience with this is that a person is bound to receive their life lessons through their relationships. Ninth house is about our higher learning. It is the house of our spiritual self, and it is the house of how we develop our understanding and belief system over a period of time. And Venus is the planet of love, beauty, creativity, arts. It is everything that takes your eye, that makes you feel that there is something beautiful, there is something artistic. That is Venus. Venus is your luxury. Venus is your relationships. Since Venus rules the natural second and the seventh house, it also represents your career. It not just represents your spouse, but also represents your relationship with the family. How keen you are on balancing your relationships. It represents your overall relationship and your ability to interact with females, whether you are a male or a female. Venus represents your income source, your possession, your savings, your expenditure to some extent as well. Not some extent, actually a lot. Venus, since it is the ruler of the seventh house, it represents your business, your work. It represents your partnership, your spouse, your relationship with the spouse, how you interact into a relationship or in a marriage. So Venus is not just confined towards luxury and the spouse. It has, multi dimensions also. It gets you to know about your career and where your income is going to come from. So when Venus goes into the sign of Sagittarius, this first of all means that religious restrictions are going to be a prominent part in your marriage. And you always have a sense of run and chase relationship within your relationships. There's always a running away, taking someone for granted, and then chasing them when they run away from you. That Tom and Jerry relationship. That is what it is. So Venus, when comes into this fiery element, into this fire, you have a tendency to jump into relationships very quickly. Or imagine about being into a relationship, or it's like, for example, you go on a date, you like that person, you're going to just have that feeling that yes, everything, you just plan everything out within your mind. Because this fire energy, when gets collaborated with Venus, it creates that hypertension. It creates that quickness, that impulsiveness. You would also see that initially, in the initial years of your life, and the other years of your life, once you mature, they are going to be intensely different. Intensely different. Like the way you are going to be in your childhood, the way you are going to be in the initial almost 25 or 26 years of your life, they are going to be way different than what you are going to be in 26 and beyond in your life. Because that's the maturing age for you. That's the time when you reach your maturity. Not just that, you would see that probably it's, let me calculate, it's 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. 21st age in your life is also very, very transformative. It's 21st and 33rd, which are very transformative. And definitely this transformation comes in through a relationship in your life. So relationships for you are about learning. You can be a person who will travel a lot. Definitely. With Venus in the nakshatra of Mula and in the sign of Sagittarius, you people learn, you people love learning. You people love higher knowledge. You people love spirituality, spiritual knowledge. You people love to travel. You people love to set yourself free. If we talk about the professions, your professions can be related to research, education, medical, healing, even anything which requires research for you. That is your profession. So if we funnel down into the nakshatra of Mula, that's the very first nakshatra where the zodiac sign of Sagittarius starts. So you have your Moola Nakshatra from 0 degree to 13 degree and 20 minutes of the Sagittarius sign. This nakshatra is ruled by Ketu. So now what we do, we combine Jupiter's energy with, we combine Venus energy with Jupiter, and then we also have the influence of Ketu with the nakshatra of Mula. First of all, you will have transformative events when it is about love. Love brings in spiritual enlightenment, spiritual progress, and major transformation in your life. Your reactions in a love relationship can be huge. You are an individual. If you love someone, you love them to the core. Because of this presence of Ketu, there's also a competitiveness which comes in your relationships, in your love. You love to have an individual who is stunning inside out. That's the magic of Ketu. Yeah, Ketu, we consider Ketu to be a spiritual planet. But the lesson of Ketu comes by being materialistic first, by being calculative with your things first. That I want a spouse who's going to be good looking, who's going to have a good presence, who's going to be highly knowledgeable. That's all what you want in your partner. You become very highly critical of your choices in love. Another thing which happens with Ketu is you never are able to forget your past. Mula is one of the nakshatras, and especially because of the influence of Ketu. Mula is a nakshatra of people who cannot just forget their past. So when you love someone, you can start with a journey which is full of that youthful love, full of that adventurous love. And then what happens? you start taking that love situation for granted. Or it's like that you just take it the way it is, like casual, not casual, I would say specifically, but you would not consider, you would not be fearful in the beginning that what if I lose this person. So that's the attitude you have. You're just enjoying what is in the present. Then what happens? The person starts detaching or starts getting their attention somewhere else. The moment you realize that the person is moving away from you, the person is detaching from you, that is the moment, even if you do not love that person that intensely, you start developing that feeling of obsession towards them. You start developing that feeling of running towards them. And then you so intensely become involved into that situation that I want this person, I want this person. You start reacting, you start lashing out, you start reacting like, how can you do this to me, how can you do that, how can you move away from me, which actually makes the situation worse. But this intense side of yours is something that is required for you to understand that maturity, for you to understand what is the mature side of love. Through these reactions, you actually transform, you evolve into a mature individual. And then you detach yourself from that relationship completely. And trust me, with Venus in the sign of Mula, in the nakshatra of Moola, the person will have a re-encounter with you. The person will come into your life again, because the love that you can provide them is not that they are going to get anywhere else. That's the intensity of love with Venus in the nakshatra of Moola. When you have Venus in the nakshatra of Moola, you are an individual who is going to be the caretaker of the other person, who's going to be that romantic individual, not like romantic in the way that all your gestures are there, but a true romance which connect a person, which will make the other person feel the warmth of love. That if I am there for you, I am going to be there for you. That's where the animal totem of this nakshatra comes in, which is the dog or the wolf. You see how loyal a dog is, how loyal a wolf is, but only for the owner, only for the ones they love, not for everyone. For the others, they may even bite them, rigorously. They can even be harmful. So the energy with this nakshatra is extreme. Also because this is a nakshatra which is directly opposite to the Ardra nakshatra, the nakshatra of Rudra, the temper of Rudra. So these two nakshatras, the Ardra nakshatra and the Moola nakshatra, are very much alike but different. So if I talk about your spouse, you will have a spouse who would want you to set them free in love. And even that is what you want. You guys want your strings to attach, but with trust. So whenever you see a person with Venus in Moola, or if you have Venus in Moola, you definitely want a strong foundation in love. You want strong foundation in your relationships. That's why there's a delay in marriage. There's a delay in love. There's a delay in fulfillment of your desires when it comes to marriage and love situation. That's why these people most probably get married after 29th year. Sometimes I've seen them getting married in the 29th year, in 34th year, 33rd year, or I've seen them getting married even in their 40s, early 40s, sometimes in late 40s as well. That depends on whatsoever conjunction is there. That's because your karma is to learn through your relationships. You would see that your spouse is going to be a very philosophical and a research oriented individual. With Venus in Mula, you and your spouse have a tendency to be the detectives. You guys just love to find things out, and you guys just love to not speak up, but to have an eye on each other. Like, you have each other's location with yourself, within your phones. You just without even telling your spouse, you're just watching their every move. That is the kind of thing there is with Venus and Mola. With the dog as the animal totem, these people are extremely loyal. They have an attitude of a high spirited and optimistic individual, but they love for you to set them free when it comes to relationship. The more you set them free, the more they are indulged into, the more trust they will have on you, and the more they will respect your trust that you put into them. So these people are not the cheaters one. Or of course, you need to see that this placement is not afflicted, right? This is not afflicted with Rahu. This is not afflicted with any other malefic, even with Mars sometimes. Then only you can expect them to cheat you or take the benefit of the loyalty. But otherwise, and also one more thing. If this nakshatra, if Venus is present in the nakshatra of Mula and this is afflicted, suppose it is heavily afflicted by Saturn, Mars, or it is Rahu, Saturn, Mars, Rahu, anyone has aspect or is sitting in a conjunction, or it is clustered in a conjunction. And of course, also, if you have Venus and Moon conjunction, and then it is being aspected by Saturn, Rahu, or Mars, this person can be intoxicated. This person can also have the tendencies of addiction, because Mula also represents the herbs and medicines which we take from the underground. And the affliction can cause a person who is into I don't know what we call it, marijuana, something like that, or weed or something like that. Okay, but these individuals, they are highly committed individuals. If they commit to you, they will commit to you as their religious responsibility. And when you get a lover with Venus in Moola, you have a love of a lifetime. You want a partner with whom you just not just connect physically, but you connect with them intellectually, spiritually. You definitely have your partner in this life who has come to join your hands from the past life. That's the effect of Ketu. Now, when it comes to the family ties, when Venus is in the nakshatra of Mula, you always have some distortion that comes in from the family life. This nature of yours, this run and chase nature of yours, this nature of yours where you become so intense into love and relationships, and the destructive self of you that comes in the relationships in the beginning of your life, that comes because of the generational trauma that you have carried forward because of your family. Whenever I see a person having Venus in the nakshatra of Mula, I know that either they have some sort of distortion or distorted relationship with the family, or they might have carried it forward. Means that they might have a healthy relationship with the family, but when they get married, something comes in, some orthodox behavior comes in from the family. Sometimes I've seen their family to be very friendly, but there are certain issues that takes out that generational trauma at certain events only. Okay. And there is always a tendency within the family to bring out past conflicts, to bring out things related to the past, and there's always religious restrictions. There's always something that comes in as a part of rigidity. Okay. So let's come to the next thing, which is the symbol. So the symbol of this nakshatra is the roots, or the lion's tail. Now, a person with Venus in Mula, they are very protective of their family. Although these people know that they have carried some trauma because of the family, they have carried the destructive attitude because of the family, but internally, they are the most dependable individuals. They are the ones who are still going to help their family, they who are still going to, howsoever they cannot just stand them. If there is a lot of affliction, they might not be able to stand them, but they always be attached to their roots. They are always attached to their ancestors. That is their karma. That is their karmic self. Their karma is to always provide and protect their family, be their siblings. And they're very nurturing with their siblings for some reason. Although I have seen many people who have, you know a problematic relationship with the family, with the siblings, if suppose this Venus is the lord of the 11th house, or the third house, or the second house specifically, and it is afflicted in one way or the other. But these are the individuals who feel that I have to provide for my relationships. I want to run away from them, but at the same time, I want to make sure that they are at their best place. That is the kind of nature these individuals have. And similarly, similar is the situation they have in love. And this is something that you would see that your spouse will also have as a part of their karma in their life. So the roots basically, just a second. Yeah. So the roots basically represent that you have a tendency to go way deeper into information. That is where the research side of yours comes in. This also means that you love to have food which is grown beneath the surface of the earth, like potatoes, garlic. I love Mula people to have some inclination towards garlic for some reason. And rather, I always suggest a person with either moon in Mula, sun in Mula, Venus in Mula, I always suggest them to have a sattvic diet. Not a diet where you do not have onions and garlic, not a Jain side of diet. Because having all these vegetables, having a meal full of vegetables is very, very important for their health. You would see that your partner also will have digestive issues and issues related to sinus, nose, ENT. Even you are going to experience certain issues after your 25th year related to sinus actually, or this dietary issues. Maybe for females specifically, it could go into PCOD. So I always tell them to have so much of vegetables, so much of carrots, onions, garlic, potatoes, any radish, any undergrown vegetables. So if you're suppose having a pasta, have less of the pasta but more of the vegetables. You will see, try it for 1 week, try to have a good routine for 1 week, try to have meditation every day in for 1 week, and you will see the results. You will see your relationships improving. You will see that you are calming yourself down with all of it. You are balancing your pitta energy with it. Okay, so these people always should live near places either where they have temple or they have a lot of greenery in the surroundings. Okay, that is also a must. And also it could show that your person, your spouse is going to travel from a distance, or if you're a female, maybe you are going to travel at a distance after you get married, and the home is going to be near either a temple or a religious space, or near an educational space, or near greenery, nature. Okay, so the lion's tail also represents its pride. It, you would see, even if it is a dog, even if it is a lion, you touch their tail and you are going to see their wrath, their anger. They are very protective of that. They are very protective of their pride. They are very protective of their ego. And that's what actually is the catalyst of their transformation in life. So you guys evolve through love, relationship. And you come to that certain side where you understand what maturity in relationship is, what being helpful, being a teacher in relationship is. So being around a person with Venus in Moola Nakshatra is not at all easy, but it is beautiful at the same time. Right? So the last factor with this is the deity. So the deity is goddess Niriti. That's what Niriti, yeah. And she is also considered to be, equivalent to the goddess Kali. That's the kind of destructive attitude they have. The destruction comes in only for the demons. So when Venus is in Mula, you would see, especially if you are a male, there's going to be one female in your life, one single female. It could be your wife, it could be your mother, but it has to be one female in your life who has the ability to lower down your aggression. To when you are in that aggressive zone, when you are in that Rudra avatar, that lady has the ability to settle you down. That lady would be your weakness. And if you are a female, you could have your spouse as that person who can settle down your wrath, your anger. That's how pure the love is within you. Niriti is also the goddess of destruction and transformation. So your remedies, let's talk about the remedies. Remedies for Moola individual, Venus and Mula. If you want to have a beautiful relationship, if you want to have better scenarios with your relationship, first practical remedy I would give you is stop comparing your present partner with your past partner, with your past lover. Understand within yourself about this, that every person is different, and comparison would make me have a complicated situation within the relationship only. It is not going to feed your relationship. It is not going to make your relationship strong. So first remedy is this: no comparison should be there. Another thing, do not take out past conflicts, because if you take out past conflicts, you're going to have those arguments, those fights within your relationships. And similarly, if you of course you're going to get a partner with similar traits, you have to ask them to avoid that as well. You can preach either goddess Niriti or goddess Kali. You must plant plants or flowers within the boundary of your home or within your home. And you should be the one to plant it. And when you plant, you can Write your desires on a paper with a black pen, sorry, why I'm saying blank, black ink. You need to write it down, write all your desires related to luxury, money, and related to your relationships, and just plant it alongside with those seeds in a plant and water it regularly. Take care of it as if that is your relationship, as if that is your child. And having a dog can improve your emotions and your emotional stability, your inclination towards relationship, your stability towards relationship. It can improve that. So either you feed dogs or you just have a dog as your pet. That is going to calm yourself down. Also, one more thing I would, I think I just went along with this explanation and I forgot to mention a few things about your spouse. So if you have Venus in the nakshatra of Mula, your spouse is going to have a tall height. They are going to be tall. Will always have a fluctuating weight because of the influence of Jupiter. They will be very good looking and very charming with their presence, very philosophical, always want to speak about philosophy, always want to guide others. They are going to be excellent advisors, excellent researchers. And with Mula, I have seen they always have a hidden aspect to them because of the symbol of roots. There is the roots. See, the roots are underground. They are not seen. They are not visible. So these people have a lot of things underground. They love to have an image. They are image conscious. They love to have an image where they show the others or the society that they are happy, they are optimistic, they are always smiling, they have a beautiful smile. Your spouse is going to have a beautiful smile. So they always show that side of theirs where they would make other person know that this person is always smiling. They might not have any problem, they might not have any intense side of them, but beneath them they always have secrets. Whenever you pour water into the plant, when you sow a seed, you water them, right? That water goes into the roots and they retain that water so as to grow. So these people retain all their family secrets, all the secrets related to their relationship and their career as well. They retain them and they let themselves grow out of it. That's the journey. That's the theme of their life. So your partners are parents, they are going to be lean, they are going to be tall, but they will have fluctuations within their body. They will have a very beautiful smile. And most importantly, very, very beautiful eyes. Very beautiful eyes. Trust me, when you see your partner, you would know this is my partner by just watching their eyes. They will have long, flushy, uh, you know, um, eyelashes just inclined above, and beautiful eyes, the eyes which go round but are pointed, sharp at the end. Okay, and you are naturally going to be attracted to their aura because they will have a very pure and pious aura. They'll be very sorry, my camera just shifted. They would have a very welcoming aura. But the only thing that makes it difficult to live with such an individual is their reactions, their expectations, their connection with the past. Their mind is always connected to the past and they bring it out in every situation. That's what is going to be something they have to work upon. And your partner can themselves be into farming of their ancestral land, or they would have that inclination towards they might have a farmland and they want to do something with that because they love to transform things. They love to transform something so as to, and that is going to be something which is going to be part of their career. The career could be into teaching, research, philosophy, medical side, medical research, and even advisor, counselor, astrology. Okay. So, guys, I think I've covered almost everything, and I hope I must have covered everything. This is my information that I wanted to give for Venus in the nakshatra of Moola. I hope this turns out to be very helpful for all of you. Okay, we'll see you with the next video pretty soon. Bye bye. Take care. Yes, bye bye.